Mary, meet Virgo. Virgo sun sign, rising sign, and or moon sign. This is a 2-week reading for all you Virgos starting today, the 30th of June, 2023. We are streaming your reading live on YouTube and on Twitch. Moderating today on YouTube is the lovely Jennifer, and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Shirley. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you so much, Shirley. And thank you to Virgo and friends of Virgo for joining us today. I'm reading with this French deck, the Gulliver Tarot, and I'm going to use a French eau de cologne. This is one of the oldest eau de colognes still in production by Roger and Golay. It's called Extra Vie. 3 sprays in this room. Oh, I've already sprayed it once, but you know what? It smells so good. I don't mind having another dose. You can find out how to purchase each of those products by looking into the video description of this very video on my YouTube channel. If you'd like to fast forward through this reading and you happen to be, the shuffling, and get right to the reading, if you happen to be on a restream on YouTube, just use the timestamps in the video description. Like I said, this is a 2-week reading for all you Virgos. It goes out to a lot of Virgos. So if for some reason it doesn't seem to apply to you, just disregard it because it may not be meant for you. In that case, check out the zodiacal readings for your other signs, or remember that we also have a general reading for all signs every single day except for Monday. And we have a weekly pick a card reading for all signs every single Sunday night that comes out. It's for all week. You can find all of those replays really easily on my website at ariels-corner.com, Ariel's Corner with a hyphen.com. And of course, they're also available for replay on both YouTube and on Twitch. If you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to that channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are on Twitch, did I say YouTube? If you're on YouTube, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you're on Twitch, make sure you follow us on Twitch. And you can watch on Twitch without ads by subscribing to us. If you feel like making a donation to the channel, you can do that by going to paypal.me/ArielGatoga. Paypal.me/ArielGatoga. If you're watching live on YouTube, you could use a super sticker or super chat. If you're watching on a restream on YouTube, you could use a super thanks. If you're watching on Twitch, the only way to do that is to either subscribe to the channel or to use that PayPal link. All right, I think this is good. Virgo, I'm super excited to read for you today. So I'm going to just give it a little more of this mixing, just for good measure. Nice clean cut, and we'll see what's in the cards for you gorgeous Virgos. Beautiful Virgos, fabulous Virgos. I adore Virgos. Let's see, Virgo. We've got a 5 of coins. We've got a Queen of Swords, and we've got a 7 of coins. Well, it all looks like it's going to turn out just fine. Some resentments about something that's happened in the recent past for many of you. This Queen of Swords just doesn't... She's just not a happy camper, and she wants to make sure that we're not happy campers when she comes up. It's part of our personality. It's one of the personality facets of humanity is this Queen of Swords, and she's the one that just wants to belabor resentment, to nurture conflict, and to try to sow seeds of discontentment no matter what. So when there's been some sort of occurrence, she gets thrilled and says, yay, what can I turn this into? How can I make this into a big deal? How can I turn this into a huge resentment? And she's just in her element. She's just so thrilled and so happy, and she wants to make sure you get thrilled and happy about resenting things as well. But what she doesn't tell you is that the reason she does that is so that you can execute a self-destruct program inside your own mind. She doesn't tell you that the reason why she wants you to get all excited about resenting yourself or other people or situations, it doesn't matter to her as long as you're in resentment, is because it's either at best a delay tactic for you to receive your good, and at worst a way to destroy your good. And then you get to start all over again in certain areas. So being aware that that's happening is everything you need. Because when you notice that you're bitching and moaning and complaining about anything, And it's usually something that's said under your breath that she can't help but verbalize it usually. Something that's, or the just kiddings, those kinds of things. She likes to be sly and cunning. Sometimes she can come right out with it, but a lot of times she likes to just be real subliminal about it. Notice how you're using your words. Notice the kinds of things that you say to yourself, and it can be about yourself. It can be about other people. She really doesn't care as long as you are fomenting discord, fomenting resentment, fomenting some sort of grievance, right? And she's looking straight at something that's occurred in the past. Now, it looks like it's probably the recent past, but it may not be for all of you. But she likes to just say, see, I can help you. I can help you with what happened in the past by getting upset about it. She doesn't say it in that way, but that's kind of what she's trying to convince you in a very sly way. And when you stop and you think, how is that going to help me with the past again? Didn't it already happen? Isn't it done? Isn't it already over? How is that going to help me? And how is that going to help me not have anything like that reoccur if I'm just sitting and stewing about what happened and resenting what happened? Won't that bring me more of the same because of the way that my mind operates and that thoughts are creative? If you stop and think about it, you can see how her little method of trying to, quote, help you is ridiculous. But we rarely stop and think about it logically. We usually just get sucked right into it because there's that addiction that she wants to foment, that addiction to resentment, that addiction to bitchiness. Now, the bitchiness that she has oftentimes will come out in ways that don't seem to have anything to do directly with what she's trying to use against you. It can be as silly as, did you see her hair? That kind of thing. And again, it's not that it's a sin to say, did you see her hair? Or it's not that it's a sin to say, what was she thinking with that dress? It's that those are ways that she's using to lock your mind up in me versus them. You see that even that little, what was she thinking or what was he thinking produces that idea of I'm over here and they're different than I am. The idea that I'm superior and they're inferior is a way that she can secretly make you feel inferior. She's really sly. She's our own creativity used against ourselves. So just be aware of it when it starts to come up and don't fall for it. And the way you do it is the way I do it anyway, is as soon as I notice that kind of chit chat in my mind or in my speech, even under my breath, I go, ooh, Queen of Swords. I just identify it and I give it a name. And if you don't like Queen of Swords, give it whatever you want. Sometimes I just call her Miss Thing. And when I see Miss Thing and I say, oop, that's just Miss Thing, it takes all of the wind out of her sails because she likes to operate behind the scenes. And as soon as you see her and you call her out for what she is, you don't engage, you don't try to fight against it, you just notice it. And that noticing it is the water on the Wicked Witch of the West. She just evaporates. All right, look at all this good stuff. We've got a 9 of coins. We've got an 8 of cups, a 7 of coins, and a page of wands. No wonder she's trying to get you focused on the past, Virgo. She doesn't want any of this. She doesn't want any of this wonderful success. Okay, so the 7 of coins is talking about how there's this upgrade happening in your finances that's the polar opposite of whatever it is that you're resenting. It's the opposite of whatever you're resenting. In fact, all the lessons you've learned about whatever happened, because it looks like it might have been a financial problem for some of you, it might have been a health problem for some of you, it might have been something, but it was something that was very, very real in your physical world that feels like a loss, or feels like some sort of conflict, or feels like there's some sort of sense of poverty or even just fear of poverty in your recent past. Whatever you learn from that is feeding this upgrade. And this is a complete and utter turnaround. Where there was poverty, there is prosperity. Where there was sickness, there is health. Where there was conflict, there was resolution. It's a complete and utter turnaround. She didn't want any of that. So it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, that she pops her head up. Think about the past. Think about the past. Wasn't that horrible? Wasn't that horrible? Right? Or whatever she's doing to get you off of being in the present moment. This here, when you're in the present moment, it's this 9 of coins, which makes you highly magnetic to prosperity. Highly magnetic to prosperity. It's a very satisfying card when it comes to money and health and any kind of physical asset. So whatever these coins represent to you, for many people, it's money, but it can also represent your physical body. It can represent any kind of physical asset, property, whatever is important to you, whatever's valuable to you. You're highly magnetic to more and more and more of that prosperity. And she's trying to say, no, let's get you out of the present moment, because if you're out of the present moment, your magnetism isn't available to you. Let's think about the past. Let's think about the past. Let's think about what happened. Well, in the recent past, even in the midst of whatever this was, you had some good news or some good ideas about what to do about it. So even if she does get you into thinking about the past, think about some of the good stuff that came out of that. Even in the past, even in the midst of it all, think about all of the good things that came out of it. There was probably some ideas or some suggestions or some sort of news or information that was actually what you're using now to get into this upgrade. And it's telling you also over here that the difference between listening to the Queen of Swords and listening to your own intuition and inner guidance is night and day. Is night and day, because the Queen of Swords, she gets you sort of like churning, you know, she gets you real judgy, whereas the intuition gets you feeling very peaceful, gets you feeling very happy, very excited about where you're going, excited about listening to all of the direction that you're receiving from that inner guidance. Beautiful. It's a beautiful place that you're headed toward. And so when she pops her head up, just notice that that's a good sign, but don't get stuck with her. It's a good sign when any kind of ego manifestation comes up, because it usually means that you're doing something right, that you're going in a really great direction, and it's trying to destroy that. It's because of the self-destructive programming that the ego brings with it. But you don't have to play along with self-destructive programming. It has no power over you. The only power any ego thought form has over us is the power that we give it by allowing ourselves to think along its lines, because the ego is nothing more than a habit of thinking. That's all it is. It's not an entity. She's not a person. It's just part of the personality that all of our whole species has sort of like fallen into over time, to sort of prove to ourselves that, you know, that we're separate from our good, that nothing's good enough, that we're just these insignificant mortal beings that have no impact on anything, right? That's what that whole thought system is all about, and it's there to destroy you. That's what it wants to do. But it has no power to do that unless you say, okay, you just don't press the button. And if you accidentally press the button to execute those thought forms, it's okay. You can unpress it. You can turn it off just as easily as you turned it on. So when you notice that happening, just notice it for what it is and get right back into that intuitive power that you have. Recognize that you're on this wonderful road to not only redemption about whatever happened, but you're going to go farther beyond whatever it was that you seemingly lost, or whatever this problem was. As bad as this problem may seem to you, it's nothing compared to how good it's going to be, because you learned a lot of great lessons. You're moving in a wonderful direction. You're highly intuitive, and you're in the midst of an upgrade. You're in the midst of a complete and utter turnaround. So you're very magnetic to a lot of good, especially physical good, especially prosperous physical good. So whatever that prosperous physical good means to you, it's all about how your emotional energy and your mental energy is, what you want to dwell in, what you choose to dwell in, Virgo, what you choose to spend your time thinking and feeling. That's the direction that you're headed in. So when she's coming to you with these ideas of resentment, just notice it. Say thanks for sharing and move on. move on to all of the good that is in your future. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and thank you to the amazing moderators, Jennifer and Shirley, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, Virgo. Blessed be.